Hello and welcome to GearHeads. My name is Jesse and today we're going to be going over my top 5 list of things that I use to help me succeed in getting big jobs done, and I have followed these rules and I'm not perfect, but I've done my best to abide by these 5 rules, and it has helped me a lot over the years accomplish a lot of big jobs for the first time. So whether you're a DIY out there or you're a starting auto tech or somebody that's been doing it in a while and sometimes you struggle when it comes to a bigger job, just remember, doesn't matter what it is, there's a million jobs out there that I have still never done. I'm always working on things for the first time. Working in an independent shop and owning my own independent shop now, I'm still getting stuff through the door every day, and I have to deal with problems or repairs that I've never done before. And you know, when you work at a dealership or something, or you're working on your own car and you're used to doing the same job over and over again, it makes things a lot simpler. You know exactly where everything goes. You know, you're not daunted by this big task, but things can quickly get out of hand and get a little bit overwhelming if you don't stay organized. So let's move on to my list. So the number one thing for me that I have found very helpful and has given me a lot of success in completing big jobs is staying organized. You know, when you start getting deep into an engine, you've got all these parts and all this stuff everywhere, it can become overwhelming in your head, and you start to wonder, oh, did that go here, did that go there? None of those things should be happening. The best thing you can possibly do to increase your chances of success and make the job go as smoothly and as quickly as possible is staying organized. Even simple stuff like this. I have this cardboard cutout, and I put all these bolts from the valve cover because they do have different positions that they need to go in. Some of them, if you look at it, some of them are just a regular bolt. Some of them have a stud on the top because something's supposed to mount there. This takes a second to do, and it makes it very easy, especially when you're going to reassemble it, so you know exactly which one went where. There's a lot more there's a lot more ways to stay organized, and I'll probably do a separate video just on organization. But I just want to repeat the simple fact that the number one thing I have found helpful is staying organized. It makes things go smoother, it makes things go faster in the long run. You might think, oh, you're taking a little bit of extra time here or there to put things in a bag or to make sure you're piling things up in the right way or whatever, versus just taking things off and setting them down and moving to the next thing and moving, and then before you know it, you go to put things back together, and now you're spending a lot more time looking for that one bolt or looking for this bracket or something else. So organization, that was number one. Let's move on to the next one. Number 2 is have a plan of attack. So whenever you're taking on a job for the first time and you don't exactly know what to expect, do yourself a favor, even if you're a professional. If it's something small, like, yeah, you don't need to have that much of a plan of attack to do an oil change, of course. But if you're doing a big repair of some sort and you haven't done it before, or it's been a long time since you've done it, do yourself a favor. If you have access to repair data or a repair manual, open that up, look and skim through it just so you kind of know what to expect. You can always go on Google, go on YouTube and look for videos so you can see what other people do. A lot of times you'll find really good shortcuts that way as well. So just come up with a plan of attack though, and it's okay to roll with the punches when things change, because sometimes you'll be starting to get into disassembly and you'll have one part that's very stubborn, or you might need to change the order you're doing something in because of, you know, some circumstance. That's okay, but go into it with a plan and do your best to follow it. And like I said, apply that with the first rule of stay organized. Rule number 3, have the right tools. Now this also goes along with the previous one. I don't know if you've noticed, we're kind of building on building on this order here, but this goes along with number 2 of having a plan of attack. Have the right tools. This is just an example of a specialty tool I'll talk about in a second, but generally speaking, yeah, if you've got a basic good socket and wrench set, you can get a lot of things done. But let's face it, on most modern cars today, there's just going to be certain scenarios and certain tools that'll make your life a lot easier, or might even be required to get the job done. A lot of times when you're reading through service manuals and stuff, they'll have a list and they'll say you need these specialty tools to complete the job. To be realistic, a lot of us know that's kind of BS. You can definitely get a lot of jobs done without any specialty tools, with just a little bit of creativity, but there are certain cases where it's going to make your life way easier just to have the tool. And if you're planning ahead and you have a plan of attack and you know what tools you need, get them before you do the job and it will make things go a lot easier. This is just a set that I have for doing Ford timing, timing parts like timing chains and camshafts and stuff on like modern EcoBoost and Ford V6 engines. You know what? You could probably do the job without this, but it will make it much easier and it will give you a lot more peace of mind if you just use the tool. And the beauty of the internet nowadays, you don't have to go to the dealership and pay several $100s for this one specialty tool that you might only use a couple times. You can go online and find a lot of specialty tools for a very reasonable price. And in my opinion, time is worth money. If they save you time, then they're making you money and they are worth their weight in gold. Number 4, verify your parts. I've seen it happen so many times. You order a part and then because of some mid-year change or because you either got the wrong one sent to you or something else, you get it, you leave it in the box, you don't even take a look at it until you get the car all the way apart. And then you go to put it in and guess what? You have the wrong part. That is such a headache and it delays things by a ton, especially if it's a part you had to order out from somewhere. Always verify your parts, look at it, make sure it seems like it's the right thing, and then as soon as you get whatever part you're replacing, as soon as you get that part out, take it out, put it on a bench or something next to the other one, verify that everything is the same, verify it's the right part, before you go to start putting it back together and you find out, you start having problems later because something was different on the new part. A lot of times on cars these days, there's little changes that they make year to year, and even though something looks similar, it might be just a little different, and enough different could cause a problem. Like I said, this is more in general advice. It's not specific to any, specific vehicle or make or model, but always verify your parts. That's number 4. So let's move on to number 5. Number 5 is more of a mental thing, and as I said, we're building on all the other steps and the rules here. Don't stress about it and don't overthink it. It's very easy, especially when you're learning or you're taking on something big for the first time, to start to get, you're trying to like put all of this together in your head, what you're gonna do, and how's it all gonna go back together when it's all apart, and or how's it all gonna come apart, because there's so many things involved that you have to take out of the way to get to this or that or whatever. Breathe, relax, and don't do that. The best thing you can do is keep it simple. So, going along with what I said before on having a plan of attack, yes, do that. Get a nice glance over what looks like everything you gotta do, but don't get overwhelmed with it. Compartmentalize things and keep it all in the small, easy chunks. Pull off this part, pull off the alternator, then pull off this bracket, then pull off this, but keep it small steps, stay organized while you're at it, and don't overthink it and don't stress. It's all just nuts and bolts at the end of the day, and no matter how much experience you have as a DIY or a mechanic, if you're really out there doing a lot of work, you're probably going to be facing new things here and there, and I hope that you find this list that I gave you helpful. If you guys have any questions, please drop them down below. If you have any comments or any other advice you would like to add, then of course add that down below as well. I do my best to respond to everybody if I can. And I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video. It's been fun doing some videos again. I know I took some time off. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep wrenching.